Hello everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video I want to talk about Final Fantasy 15 Uncovered. For those who didn't know, I was actually live at the event at the Shrine Auditorium in Hollywood in Los Angeles. So, I have a lot to say because it was a pretty exciting evening in the end. We finally got a lot of information that we were waiting for. Turns out some of the leaks that we heard between the weeks before to the very day of were quite true. But it was just a great experience being amongst the 6,000 people in the auditorium, just hearing the cheers and the excitement regarding some definitive information and teasers for Final Fantasy 15. Now, we had a bunch of things showing off, but they actually started the show with I can never pronounce Japanese names, Sakaguchi. So this is, for those who don't know, the granddaddy, or actually just the daddy of Final Fantasy. This is the guy who came up and made it. Like, this is the guy who made it happen. So having the OG guy behind Final Fantasy there was a big deal for a lot of us. Everyone knew who he was immediately. It was hard to make the mistake. So I actually have a bunch of these pictures that I took right off my phone. Apologies if they're not the highest of quality, but it was hard to get. I had a woman with an afro sitting in front of me, and I was like, all right, we'll do our best. So he had a few quotes. Like any father, you occasionally wonder if the path your child on is the right one. Obviously, talking about Final Fantasy and how it's evolved over the years. There was a bunch of quotes. These are just a few that I decided to rip off my phone. I'm excited to be here tonight with all of you to see just how Final Fantasy has rediscovered its true nature. Now, that's a bold statement because a lot of people look at Final Fantasy 15 and go, "Huh, that's not real Final Fantasy. It's not turn-based." But I don't know. He likes it and I like it, so that's all that really matters to me personally. Now, coming out, oh my God, that picture looks awful blown up. That's supposed to be Greg Miller and Tim Geddes, but that is not a very telling picture. This could be Slender's like friggin' brothers for all we know with the facial features here. Oh, now you can see them a lot better when there's not, a big glare on them at the very least, or at least when my camera's in focus. So they showed off the artwork. This was, again, teased before the show actually came out, but one thing they actually did with this artwork is they did a 3D rendering of it. It was very beautiful to look at. They had a lot of things like this that were beautiful to listen to, beautiful to look at, just great to see. The art, the 3D art, they even had an Audi R8 somewhere, which they're actually recreating, just one of them. We'll see what that looks like later. Now, most of this stuff, by the way, in case you're wondering where you can see it, the official Final Fantasy Final Fantasy 15 Square Enix stream is over at twitch.tv/Square Enix. It's in their past broadcasts. I don't know if they're going to put the full thing up on YouTube, but I think almost all of the clips they put up on YouTube anyway of all the major announcements. Not 100% sure on that, but I'll include a link to the past broadcast or the highlight or whatever they made it in the description of the video below. So it's, again, really hard to tell, but you can kind of tell who it was. You can see some of his name over there. We have Yoshitaka Amano. He was the one who did the art piece, and come on, you guys are Final Fantasy fans, you should know who this is. He pretty much does art for every single Final Fantasy, just like conceptual art of the story or his interpretation of it. With this one looking to be mostly full of creatures, some deities in here, but it is an insane piece of art. That just looks badass to look at. They also had some words from Nobuo Uematsu. He couldn't actually be there live, but he has the thing of Final Fantasy 15 behind him, and he actually didn't do any musical work for Final Fantasy 15, but he's, of course, always appreciative. He always has something to say, and he's always excited, and we're always excited to see him. Now, if you don't know who this is, they let us listen to a lot of music over the course of the Final Fantasy 15 Uncovered event, and the main theme, I believe it was called Stand By Me. I actually don't have the list of all the song names over here. But Florence and the Machine, and they very, very into classical music, and they just started they didn't just start getting into it, but they eventually, dived into what motivated them to do classical music, to do game music, and how exciting it was. And to be honest, it's a beautiful theme. It's a theme I feel will stand out in the Final Fantasy series as a favorite. It's just one of those themes that I don't know if I could listen to it, like, on its own, but if I hear it, I go, oh, yeah, that's good. I just like it. It was a good theme. If you haven't heard it, again, Stand By Me, Florence and the Machine, the Final Fantasy 15 theme. You should be able to find it. I think it's supposed to be on, like, some sort of music thing. You can buy it somewhere. I just don't know where it is off the top of my head. Now, we also had some guests. Now, I'm actually someone who's very bad with famous people. So when this reveal came out, I actually didn't understand who it was. But apparently, it was very, very, very important, and everyone was hyping it up. I apologize. I know there's a bunch of people who hate me right now for not knowing who that is. But it was just like, I was like, I don't know. I'm not good with names, pretty much. I probably know who it actually is because I feel like I've heard that beautiful, beautiful voice this man has. But I just can't think of it off the top of my head, so apologies for that. They also showed off some more screenshots. They showed off some Chocobo gameplay, what it's like to ride them. You can drift with them. They can jump. They can cover certain obstacles and whatnot, and they make traveling a lot faster. You also get a certain idea of certain elements. It's hard to see. You get an idea of what the map is going to look like. It tells you what the weather cycle actually is. Of course, you can see the surroundings, and of course this all looks way better on the live stream, but I wanted to use the pictures from my phone because I was there and I took the pictures and I had no idea what I was going to do with the pictures. We have another picture. This is still the Duskai region, and that was the thing, they actually pronounce it Duskai, and was it Duskai? I'm pretty sure Matt pronounced it Duskai or something like that. Then we went over the characters. That was another big thing. They went over the characters, you know, what they're like, who kind of who they represent in the group. And then there was a reveal of an anime for Final Fantasy 15. It's going to be a 5-part series. The first episode is out right now on the official YouTube channel on Crunchyroll. And it's basically a prequel to Final Fantasy 15, explaining kind of a little bit more about each of the characters and their relationships with each other. It kind of looks like it takes place during the game, but we were assured that it takes place before the game, so I'm not 100% sure. First episode was pretty good. I believe the same animation team that does Sword Art Online did this, and honestly, the fighting was pretty nice. Also, it was just cool. It was just relaxed. It's only about 11 minutes long. Not even, I think, with the credits at the end. So, should be something that's easy to watch. We'll be expecting the other episodes to come out slowly but surely. And from what I understand, someone said that the 6th episode came with the Ultimate Collector's Edition, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. But we got more exciting things to talk about before we even talk about that Ultimate Edition. So the anime itself is called Brotherhood Final Fantasy 15. You can go watch it now. First episode was good. I could do a full review on it, but I'm not sure that I will yet. I'm not an anime connoisseur. I don't really watch anime. But that being said, I couldn't pass this up. You know, I'm a fan of Final Fantasy. There's no way I was missing this. And then they started showing us some CG footage, which was like, okay, you know, whatever. And we found out that there's actually doing a full-length, full CG movie called Kingsglaive. Now, what was interesting to me about Kingsglaive is it's actually a movie that takes place alongside the main story. I don't know how I feel about that in particular, because that means that it's a story that could be in the game. It could also be a story that could have crowded the game, so it's hard to really tell. Like, I imagine that basically this would have been an hour and a half of extra cutscenes in the game itself, you know? And is that overload? Does that really fit? You know, now I got to kind of watch Kingsglaive to understand everything that's going on. But either way, it's another way to kind of go into Final Fantasy 15. And Kingsglaive itself will be out before Final Fantasy 15. So again, trying to prep us story-wise, get us invested in the universe. Something that's honestly the whole reason I got into Final Fantasy was because I just liked being invested in all these different universes. Why I wasn't a big fan of sequels on pretty much any of them, whether it was 13, 10, 7... Like, even if they played well, it was always just like, you know, I want to see something new. I want to see a new universe, and I'm hoping to get that with Final Fantasy 15. That's the Audi R8 we were talking about, by the way. That car is in the movie Kingsglaive. They're also making one. I think they said it would be done in, like, I don't even know. That's just a concept, I think. Apparently, they're actually making it. So I'm on the lookout for a giveaway, because they got to be giving this thing away, right? Like, they're not just going to put it on display at Square Enix, are they? Oh god, they just might do that. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So then they started introducing the voice acting cast, and some of you who may not have heard this are going to be pretty surprised when you find out the 3 members of the cast that they brought. Well, then didn't bring all 3 of them on stage, but they introduced them. So Lena Headey, and I know that's not the correct pronunciation. She's from Game of Thrones. Those of you who know, I actually don't watch Game of Thrones, but I still recognize the face. I still recognize the voice. I will tell you this though. I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I have seen some Game of Thrones, and I did enjoy it quite thoroughly. That's why this next reveal was a bigger deal to me, and that's not it. What is it, out of order? Where is it? Where is Sean Bean? Maybe I didn't actually send myself the pictures. So basically, I wish I had the picture. There was a video from Sean fucking Bean, who is also voicing in this movie. He is actually voicing Noctis's father, King Regis, and because he's fucking Sean Bean. Now everyone's nose says like, oh, now we know the king's gonna die. Spoiler. And it's like, God, I wouldn't be surprised. With the way the story's unfolding, I wouldn't be surprised to see his character die. Lena, by the way, she's voicing Luna in the story. And then even more surprising was Aaron Paul. Now, for those who don't know who Aaron Paul is, you've heard of Breaking Bad, right? Well, he's Jesse, bitch. Pretty much, it's that guy. He made a crystal meth joke on stage, and he actually plays as the, he actually voice acts the main protagonist of Kingsglaive, and that's Nyx, who's a new character. You see him on screen a little bit during the trailer. If you haven't seen the Kingsglaive trailer, go check it out. It's looking to be a pretty solid CG movie. I'm going to assume a bunch of my other pictures didn't make it through also, but I can always, like, post them in, like, an album or something under the stream. So then they showed off a few more things. They actually showed off a mobile game, and I just realized I don't see any of these mobile game pictures in any of my any of the things that I have here. I guess all my pictures didn't save over properly. There's a new mobile game coming out that's actually going to be in Final Fantasy 15 as well. It's called Justice Monsters 5. I was relying on the screenshot to actually tell me that, but Justice Monsters 5, and it's a game. It looks like another game I've seen, but I can't think of it right now. I had way too many pictures that I tried to move over. My phone's not actually plugged in right now. I dragged them off my phone, and I don't want to start the whole video over. So, yeah, Justice Monsters 5 is going to be a new mobile game coming out soon. Looks fun. And, again, you can play it in the game itself as well. So, again, more investment into their universe. It's a mini game. You know, it's looking to be good. So, let's see. What did I miss? We have Anime, Brotherhood, Episode 1 is available. Kingsglaive, Sean fucking Bean, and I wrote that in my notes. Lena Headey. Aaron Paul, the mobile game Justice Monsters 5. We have the deluxe edition of the game right here, which gives you, you know, the artwork that we just showed off before on the actual case itself. It comes with the disc itself. It comes with a Platinum Leviathan recolor for your car. It comes with a Masamune weapon, the 15 version, the Royal Raiment outfit. So it's a different outfit for Noctis, making him look quite swag. But then, now that, I don't remember how much that was. I think it was like $100-something bucks for this one. The big daddy was Ultimate Collector's Edition, which comes with a cover art book, a special soundtrack, the actual art itself. It's a steelbook case. It comes with a copy of Kingsglaive. It comes with the Final Fantasy 15 game. It comes with Brotherhood, the 6th episode. I think I see it over there on the left, still cut off. It comes with a Play Arts Kai Noctis figurine. It comes with, just look at all this stuff. And it comes in a huge box. There's only 30,000 of them available initially. I'm going to say that because a lot of people think that, I think they have more than 30,000 of these things. $270 collector's box. And yes, I did get one. My girlfriend actually had to lend me her phone because I had no service, so I had to do it on her phone, and it was a complete clusterfuck. That's the thing. You go to these events, and you're like, yay! And then they announce all these things like, tonight, available right now, go do it. And you're sitting in the audience like, God damn it, why do I come to these things? Every time they announce something great, and I'm not there. I had to wait till the next day to play Platinum Demo, which is the other thing that I didn't even get to mention yet, which actually I should have mentioned before this. And I don't know where the pictures to those that is either. But I did just post a video regarding Platinum Demo, my full playthrough of it. So, I mean, just go watch that. Go watch that. That'll be either in like an annotation or like the little eye in the top right corner of the screen or something like that. Platinum Demo is a short demo, takes place before or separate to Final Fantasy 15 story, so none of Platinum Demo is actually in Final Fantasy 15. It's basically there to show you things like the day-night cycle, the different weather effects. It basically allows you to speed through things. You're able to turn into different enemies so you can see what their attacks look like and their different attack patterns. You get to practice the combat a little bit. You get to practice with a light weapon, you get to practice with a heavy weapon, you get to practice with magic, the new lock-on system, the new dodge system. It's all very good. And then at the end, you get to put it all to use against one final boss where you actually are a little bit more threatening with it. And on top of that, you're accompanied by a little carbuncle the entire time. And when you actually finish it, you get to name the carbuncle. And when Final Fantasy 15 comes out, as long as you have that save file with the carbuncle for Platinum Demo, that carbuncle will join you in Final Fantasy 15, and it'll have the same name. Like I named mine Roarsnacks because that's my girlfriend's online handle. And then we had the Ultimate Edition, which, like I said, I got. And then we had the big reveal, like we said, which was that the game comes out September 30th. This was funny because the entire show they were cracking jokes at GameSpot, who apparently accidentally posted the entire leak of this like hours and hours and hours before the actual leak happened, or before the actual announcement was made. So it was funny because they had the button, and Tim was like, the whole spiel was, oh, Tim really wants to press the button, and Greg is like, no, you can't press the button. GameSpot already pushed the button early. You don't get to push it early either. And then it turns out the button was a fake, and then it was, you know, and then they had Hajime Tabata actually do the honors. September 30th, 2016 is the official release date of Final Fantasy 15, as the rumors had stated it might be. And, you know, that kind of sucks, because guess what? Those of you who watch us over on Twitch.tv, that's the same weekend as TwitchCon. So one of two things is going to happen. One, I live 15 minutes from TwitchCon, so I'm still going to be streaming it. Hate to say. Sorry, TwitchCon, I'm willing to miss a few panels for this. And then on top of that, if TwitchCon seriously doesn't have like a giant section for streaming Final Fantasy 15, I'll be in shock. I won't believe if they don't have that. Now, if they don't have that, it just means I get to go home and stream it. I get to be cool. But I fully expect them to have that. I would just be so shocked if they didn't actually have a dedicated section for Final Fantasy 15. And then I just had a few other screenshots. There's a picture of Leviathan, a picture of Ramu, a picture of Ramu again, a picture of Titan, who, by the way, this isn't the first time we've seen Titan, but people are acting like we've never seen him before. I will say this is a much more menacing-looking Titan than I feel like we've seen before, but he literally looks like Attack on Titan. I don't even, again, I don't watch anime, but, like, it's literally Attack on Titan. Like, it can't be. It can't be anything else. And then there's just, like, one final picture with everyone on stage. Look, you can see Aaron Paul right there in the middle this time. You know, it was funny. So one of the friends, or one of the workers there, one of the Square Enix employees, actually walked up to my girlfriend, who's Asian, and started talking in Japanese to her randomly. And my girlfriend was like, what? What's going on? And she's like, oh, are you not friends of Yoshitaka Amano? And she's like, no, you got the wrong person. I was like, yo, we should have just gone with it. They'd be like, yeah. But we didn't do that. Overall, it was a really exciting event. It looks like they're doing everything right. I've always said Square Enix has never done PR and marketing. I feel like they don't do it well. I mean, look at E3 last year at the Square Enix conference. It was just so dull. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake was always exciting, but it was just like, it was too straight edge. It wasn't loose enough. It didn't feel fun. This felt fun. This had great announcements. It showed how much work they really want to put into this being the game that like really revitalizes the entire Final Fantasy series, even if it's not turn-based. Final Fantasy XIV did a good job at doing that when it was reborn, but all it did was really save the series and save itself and save the company. Final Fantasy XV needs to save the entire franchise in a lot of people's eyes. So I believe I recall a quote of them saying if they don't sell at least 10 million copies, it won't be a success. And if I remember, Final Fantasy VII has sold 9.4 million copies, so that would make it more successful than Final Fantasy VII, and they're hoping for it. Let me tell you, those 30,000 collector's editions selling out like that, that's a pretty big sign. At least the PS4 ones, whatever was divided for the PS4. Apparently most of those sold out, and now you can join the waiting list for that if you're interested in dropping $270. I'm hopeful. I think the game is still not going to be like a 10 out of 10 game. I think it takes... I don't think many games, or any game ever, has ever deserved a perfect score. I expect it to be like an 8 to an 8.5 out of 10. That's my prediction right now. That's not a bad score, but it's not revolutionary. It just needs to be a good game. In my opinion, that's what it needs to do. They also gave us, by the way, this friggin' calendar, which I don't want to flip through because it's, I don't know, it'll take a while. But I'll show you my favorite one. I'll show you my favorite piece of art in the entire one real quick. I actually kind of want to hang this up. I think this one is my favorite art. It's really hard to see, and I know I'm not exactly zooming in, but this one's hard to see just because of the lighting on the camera as well. Like if I try to pull it past this, then it doesn't show very well. But it was a cool little calendar. It was a nice little bonus for people who showed up. I don't know if it was VIP only because that's where I was sitting, but overall it was a lot of fun. I'm very excited for Final Fantasy 15. I can't wait for the movie. I can't wait to see more over the months. I can't wait for all the animes to release. I wasn't really excited about this game, and now I am. So expect full coverage of it on my channel. That includes when we eventually get to the game itself. That includes full playthrough. That includes full live stream of it. That includes pretty much everything with Final Fantasy 15. Like, we're going ham on Final Fantasy 15 news and updates over the next few months. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching me as I rant and I fanboy a little bit on this video. You know I appreciate it. But be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share to let me know that you like it as well. And don't forget, over on Twitch, we are going to be working on a special event next week, a Final Fantasy 14 sponsored stream. Square Enix is sponsoring a stream. I want to shout that out here. Be sure to come by. I'll be sure to give you the definitive date. Right now, it currently looks like Tuesday, which is April 5th? April 5th. Yes, Tuesday, April 5th is looking like the day that we're actually going to be doing that. So be sure to come by. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to have PvP. We're going to have fun. So be sure to come by and support the stream. And also our 2-year shirt is going on sale April 2nd. I'll be sure to make a separate video about that when the time comes. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, guys. You know I appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. And until then, take care. Okay, so I actually forgot a part. I did a whole sign off and everything. I don't know if I'll edit this in after or if I'll just edit it in before. I don't know, because I talk nonstop. But there was... God, I can't believe I'm looking at this. So there was actually an event there, a little tiny thing you could do for fun, where basically you could tweet out from the Final Fantasy 15 area. I did that. But there was also one where you could make like an animated GIF or GIF, whatever you prefer, of yourself in different aspects of the game. And this looks like the scene with the Adamantoise to me. And it literally runs at like a frame a second or like 2 frames a second. But it's just me slowly coming out of the ground. And you can see that picture alone sells it. Like, I don't even need to play the fact that it's a video. Like, look. See? Oh my god, why did it do that? Gotta love the video actually like loading. We'll do it again. Don't do it again. There we go. Gotta love that. Yeah, and then Final Fantasy 15. Great animated GIF, by the way. That was less than half of the animated GIF. Now, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere here I have another one. So let us open that one as well. This one is a little bit harder to see. I gotta like freeze frame this one pretty closely. Like, yeah, that one goes so quick. So basically it's me getting grabbed by Ramuh, and it literally happens in less than 2 seconds. This is the first picture right here, right before he grabs me. And then, just as he's about to grab me... Oh, Jesus, it happens so fast. There's literally like there we go, 1 frame there where you can see him. I notice him and I'm like, oh my god. And then he grabs me and I'm like, the guy told me I was like, right, I was trying to make it look like I was pushing on his arm and it didn't, or his hand, and it didn't work. And then I look up like a second later, there it looks so stupid. It was like, it looked so stupid I had to do both of them, right? Like, I had to share this with you guys. Oh, man. And then he does Judgment Bolt. And then it's funny, if you freeze frame this, you can see Noctis in his hand, because, like, at this point, they're not going to try and take my picture for that size. So I just think it looks funny. But that's the old summon animation from the original game, and then it just plays in a loop. This one's way shorter, and it actually plays in a loop. I wonder why the other one is so... Oh, you know what it is? The other one loops twice. And then here it is. I think this one loops twice before it like plays. Yeah, it loops twice. That's why. Okay. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. So I don't know if I did this at the end or not. So I'll just say thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, take care.